Are you live?
Hey everybody, yes, I am live. I am live. Marissa here
Oh,
with Discover Intuition. Marissa with dark hair. I just did it like an hour ago, so I'm getting used to it. I feel like I don't look like
yeah,
me.
I was just combing my hair out, and I didn't think I didn't know we were going to be on the air. Anyway, hi folks. I'm Joe Morris. This is my daughter Marissa Morris.
Hello.
What we do is Marissa's a channel, and I'm a Christian, and she's a spiritualist and a Christian. And generally, what we do is I ask questions. I like to ask the questions, and then Marissa finds Jesus or God or our ascended master or one of our guides or our angels or one of our team or many of our team come in and answer. So we've got a lot
Today
of
the
books.
spirit plane is here.
What's that?
The spirit plane is here today. The spirit
Oh,
plane. Grandma
oh,
Betty.
oh
Um,
really?
yeah, my dad's mom. But I think I brought her in on accident by thinking about the picture that Uncle Steve posted a picture the other day of Grandma Betty when she was like, I don't know, like she's probably like 12 or 13 for her birthday.
Yeah.
And did you see that picture? It's a picture of her. Let me pull it up. And when I saw the picture, I went, oh my gosh, that's Madison.
Oh,
And
really?
I pulled up a picture of Madison. I was holding it right up next to the one of Grandma Betty. And I was like, holy moly. Even Jeff was like, my gosh, the same mouth, the same as you call them bedroom eyes. That's your mom.
Yeah. My mom had
She,
bedroom eyes. I
okay,
don't remember my mom having bedroom
well, no one's
eyes.
going to think their moms have bedroom eyes.
Yeah,
Your little
no,
boy.
no, I know what bedroom eyes are. It's the extra fold in the at the top of your eye. Your eyelid
Oh, is that what it is?
has an extra fold to it,
So they always
and
look
so
like
it always
sleepy.
looks like they're sleepy. It always looks like their eyes are kind of sleepy, but it really looks like bedroom eyes. And when I
Oh,
saw that on Madison at age day 2
yeah.
or day 3, I said, "Oh, Jeff, you're going to have problems." And of course, I think he took it the wrong way.
Jeff takes
Um,
everything.
I mean, which was silly and just
I
silly.
know.
But anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna
okay,
pull up this
so
picture. So it's a so I was looking at the picture earlier, or thinking of the picture in my head earlier, and
yeah.
upon thinking of the picture, immediately Grandma Betty was here,
Oh,
and
okay.
she was talking to me about how I posted that picture on my wall. I could have sworn I did. I did. Oh, I'm on my business page. I'm not. It's not my business. It's my personal page. So she comes in and she starts talking about she or someone starts talking about how um, uh, incarnation, how incarnation works, and how she's always here. She always pops into our field because she's still or she's incarnated at the time. And I said, but I thought you were supposed to wait a couple of generations before you incarnate. And she said, sort of, but not really. She said, okay, here, Grandma Betty, right here. Pop, look.
Oh yeah, she's like 21 there.
21. Geez, she looks like she's like 12. Okay, so that's her.
Yeah, she's like 21 there.
And then
That's why
here
I
is,
didn't know what you were talking about. A
okay.
birthday
And then
party.
look at Madison's face. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I mean, it's like the exact same face for anybody who's like, but I mean, that picture was right above that one when Uncle Steve posted it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the same eyes, the same nose, the same forehead, the
Hmm.
same mouth, everything. So when I was straightening my hair, I don't know if any of you girls, when you do your hair, that's when I receive my messages from God. I'm not joking. It's like when when I've had all my epiphanies, when I've had like all of my revelations in life, it's always when I'm doing my hair, because you have to sit there for like 45 minutes to an hour standing in one place, just like sitting there blow drying and straightening and curling and doing all your stuff, especially if you have long hair like I had. But anyways, she was saying that I think we were talking about something yesterday about Bill graduating,
Yeah.
and that's our friend that passed away in December, and
Mhm.
he's now graduated from like soul school. And that's what they used to always talk about whenever I would do his channeling sessions. They were always talking about how we were in soul school and that he wants to become a creator God and that he needs to attain all these certain things. And then he'll be able to be a creator God or creator soul. And a creator soul is one that gets to make worlds and stuff like that. And then after that, after you're a creator soul, then you become like a Christed soul, and a Christed soul can make people. So like the difference between like souls, I mean, you start out and you get to make like a plant, and then you get to make like a rock, and then you can make a planet. You know, you get to like move through all these different levels. So I asked Grandma Betty today when I was straightening my hair, if she was a creator soul, and she goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." She says, "But you guys are." And I said, "What?" I said, "We're creator souls." And she goes, "Yeah, you guys are creator souls." I said, "Like now?" And she says, "Well, yeah." And so I wanted to ask her about it. I want to ask about what she means about that. Is everybody down here creator souls now? I feel like everyone down here on the planet is a creator soul now.
Now, folks, this is a little unusual because Marissa is usually talking to Jesus, God, angels, guides, everything else. And she tends to avoid talking to
the spirit plane.
you know, grandma and grandpa and who have passed away. So this is a rarity. It does happen, but Marissa doesn't
I'm going
like
to
to
channel the
focus
guides.
on it.
I want to ask the guides about it because she came in on the spirit plane and was telling me that, and then it was almost time for the show. So I was like, you know what? Let's just. She's not here right now. That's what she told me when I was doing my hair. And then I thought, you know what? Let's just ask them about it because I want to know what she was talking about. And then maybe she just popped back in again. Okay, let me grab my water. You talk for a second. I'm going to grab my water really quick. I didn't bring it over here, and then I will be right back. Or you say a prayer too. Here, say a prayer. I'll sit still, and then I'll go over.
Okay.
You want me to pick?
Tawny's prayer, Marissa's prayer, Joshua's prayer, the prayer that they would always say in the car on the way to school in the morning was, "Thank you, Jesus, for another day." Think about it. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. Thank you for taking care of me and my family. And I forgot my prayer. Thank you, Jesus, for
all I do today.
oh yeah. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. Thank you for taking care of my family. Bless me in all the things that I do, and keep me holy, sinless. For in your Son's name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. It's a very simple prayer. I can't believe I went blank. I've been saying it for
you did what
30
happens
years.
channel. No, because you're channeling. You're like channeling information. They're downloading stuff into your field, and then I was like, oh, I need to go get water, and then I told you to say a prayer, and you flipped back over into you, and yeah, that's what that story of my life. I'm always like, I forgot, and it's because you switch between channels in your brain. I'll be right back.
Well, we can usually go farther than that in a prayer. We can ask Jesus to, or God to put us into a impenetrable snow globe so that we can see out. People can see in. But with that glass, nobody can penetrate it. So if by chance anything has penetrated your snow globe, just ask to have those negative cords cut. You might have cords attached to you that you picked up from somebody you don't know in a grocery store. So anyway, just ask to be protected in God's armor and that all negative influences be cut from you this day. So anyway, thank you, God, for being a part of us. What I want to do, we were talking about curiosity yesterday. Once again, what we do, what Marissa and I have done, and we've written a lot of books, and a lot of them, they're filled with transcriptions of channeling. And then we put them into one book. We got a number of books, but one book is Conversations with Jesus. And what we did was we had done this Bible Speak series where we interviewed the 8 different authors of the New Testament. And of course, Jesus was involved in all of it. And so we will have quotes from, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, Paul, James, and who's the last one? Peter? Did I forget Peter? So we have all these quotes from them, but Jesus was always there. So Jesus would always have something to say. So we got that into our book, Conversations with Jesus. You can learn more about it by going up to that Learn More button that you'll see up there at the top. We kind of changed it. I think it might say call now, but we'll change it. You'll see when you see it, Learn More. You can learn more from Marissa about who she is, what she does, and what we've done here. So yesterday, we went over the opening of our book, Conversations with Jesus, and the opening salvo, so to speak, for the book was curiosity. Jesus wanted to let us know that over 85% of people who are either religious or spiritualists are curious. They're just curious. 15% of the Christians, they know all about Jesus. They love him every day. They guide their life with him and they pray to him, and they're already home. So those aren't the people that are going to be curious about what we're doing. The people who are going to be curious are the ones who are, I don't want to go to church. I don't want to be called a Christian. I don't want to be called a Jew. I don't want to be called a Muslim. I don't want to be called I just want to believe God the way I believe God. And in a way, that's who we appeal to, because we can give you a little more insight than what just sitting down reading the Bible will be. Bible's good. There's a lot of good inspiration in there, especially in the New Testament. The Old Testament is mostly prophecy and the history of the Jews and what they had to go through. But the New Testament, of course, was the coming of Jesus, which they in the Old Testament had prophesied. So anyway, we did curiosity yesterday because that's the main point, I think, of anybody who's even stayed on here this long today. You're curious. What the hell are you guys doing? And so let me start in on something here. We have in our book also, if you do get the book, Conversations with Jesus, we basically have it broken down into 3 different sections. And the last section are called daily lessons.
Actually, sign the package. I'll be right back.
Okay. Daily lessons. Actually, we have, how do I break this down without looking at it? We start with Jesus's 21st century parables. And then we go into like 102 different passages of Jesus that we channeled. And then we drop that. That's in the section part. And the third part is what are called daily lessons. And so we've got 21-day cards. I don't know why. Bill Gladstone, who was Marissa's literary agent, he said to prepare up 21-day cards. I don't know what the 21-day cards mean. It seemed like you would want it like 30-day cards or 31 or whatever. But anyway, he said, no, 21-day cards. That's it. And while you're at it, make up 3 sets. I went, oh my God, are you kidding me? I got to set up 63 different cards. But I did, and we got it all put together. So what I wanted to do was just kind of go over some of these daily lessons, and then if Marissa wants to pop in and make comment, then she can. Marissa, are you gone? I put in my thing that Marissa was going to be gone today because she was supposed to be traveling to California. And it turns out somebody's already at the condo that she wanted to stay at, so she couldn't go today. She'll probably go tomorrow. I'll be there with Tawny on Friday.
I'm signing for a package. That's why I'm around the corner. So I just turned my camera off, but I'm done now.
Okay, so these are daily lessons, and just to give you some idea, if you ever do go ahead and order the book, this is what you'll find, and they're meant to be read one a day, and there are 63 of them, 3 sets of 21. But let's just go through some of them. We'll jump over days, starting with the very first one, day 1, nourishment from God. And then what I do is I give a little commentary, and then we have a channeling that follows it, usually from Jesus. So this one is nourishment from God. Every person is a child of God, no matter how each comes to him. For it is said that each shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. Belief in an omnipotent God is trusting in someone who is greater than yourself, that can nourish you. Fear not how you approach him, God, for it is God's nourishment, being bathed in his light, that helps you through your daily struggle. It is God's nourishment, being bathed in his light, and you being bathed in his light, that helps you through your daily struggle. Here's what Jesus had to say. Jesus said, when you walk through an orchard, you see an apple tree, an orange tree, a grapevines, blueberries, raspberries, lime trees, and lemon trees. Are any of them the one true tree? No. Are any of them the one true fruit? No. If you walk to one tree and you say, oh, this orange is delicious, I'm just going to eat oranges for the rest of my life. This is okay, referring to religions, folks. This is okay. But does it mean that the one that's eating blueberries is wrong? No. It's the nurturing. It's a nurture, fruit from God, and nurturing from God. You get your nurture from God through your various religions or belief systems. And there is no one true one. There is no one true religion. There's no one true fruit. People find God through various different ways. Jesus goes on, he says, no, it's the nurturing. It's a nurture fruit from God. Nurturing from God is like a nurturing fruit. Nurturing is from God. It is not the fruit you eat in order to be nurtured. It is not the holy books you read, is what he's saying. These parables. So it's not the holy books. It's your interrelationship with God. It is not the fruit you eat in order to be nurtured. It is not the fruit, the religion, that you take in to be nurtured. It is the compassion and the love that you feel from God. That is God. It is not the Bible, nor the cross, nor the rosary, nor the prayer rug, or the yoga stances that people think that they need in order to connect with God. It is the nourishment, the light that one receives from God that is inside of them that is important. That was day one. Day one card. I guess I lost Marisa. Okay, let's see. I'll just keep on going, I guess. I'll go to day two. I love that first one. It's really comes from the parable of the orchard. And for those of you who haven't followed us and aren't aware of that particular parable that Jesus gave us, was basically saying that when he came to earth, there were all these different fruit trees all over the world, meaning religions, a lot of religions all around the world. Was there one true religion? No. He's saying no. I would have said, well, supposedly, yeah, the Jews, they're the people, those are the chosen people of God, according to the Jews.
No, I'm
But
not.
other religions may feel that their God is more important than the Jewish God. So anyway, is there one particular fruit? Is there one particular tree? No, there's a lot of them. And you get your nourishment through that. But it isn't the books, it isn't the stances, it isn't anything else. It's your personal relationship that's most important.
It's what you get out of the relationship. That's these dogs. They just, sorry, I did that. When I signed for the package, I was bringing the boxes in, and I turned around, and one had one tamale, the other one had the other tamale, and the other one had the third one. I just heated up 3 tamales for myself that Monica made for us. They're so good. I got 3 dozen of them, so I could feed them to you and Tanya when you're here, because I figured, that's easy. So I got them.
Yeah, I don't care for tamales.
They each just stole one of my tamales.
Who?
Look at these. The
dogs.
Yeah.
Well, then they stole.
One, so I was just running around grabbing tamales from them. So that's why I heard you talking, but I was like, get over here. And Bella ran and she got underneath the couch. Look at, she's over here. Okay, she went under the couch.
Okay. Well, they ate my tamale because Tawny loves tamales. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't care for them. Every once in a while, I'll eat a tamale that I like, but for the most part,
I gotten for her because I figured she's never eaten American food before. Like she's never had like real like you guys have like dulce out there, right? Like it's like not real candy. It's kind of like a. I mean, she's had like
candy here. Candy here is completely different from the United States.
Well, here we're allowed to eat poison, and there we're not. Like here, they allow us to have food coloring like red 40 and yellow whatever, and that's illegal even in Mexico and in Europe. Those things are illegal, but here they have them in like Sour Patch Kids. They have them in everything. They have them in the red 40 and yellow 4 or something like that. Those are illegal substances to put in food. In other places, in here in America, we have it in all of our foods, and they make kids crazy and they make people crazy. But yeah, so Mexico probably actually cares about their people, so they don't put poison in the food.
Just customs. Every country has their own way of doing things. The one thing I can't wait is you cannot get a decent donut in Mexico.
Oh yeah,
they're all baked cake donuts.
My dad was going to start a donut shop in Mexico. That's why when he moved down there, he was going to actually buy a place and start Papa's Donuts, right?
Yeah, but that turned out to be a major nightmare trying to do business in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. Nightmare. But Tawny's going to be completely surprised when I take her to a donut shop. I may even take her to
take her to get all this food and stuff like that. Well, yeah, I mean, because the tamales for her, because I figured if she didn't like anything, she could at least eat that. But
she eats everything. We don't just eat Mexican food every night. We eat spaghetti, toasted cheese sandwiches. I mean, we and we tacos and
Dad's an
tamales
American
and stuff
dad,
like
but
that.
I don't know. I just think it's anyways, and we can
like
leave.
last night, what did I have for dinner last night? It was steak, not steak. It was a salad and pizza. She gave me pizza, and because we freeze it, we get a lot of pizza. We get a lot of pizza. And then we freeze it, and it's amazing how fresh it comes out when you freeze a fresh pizza. When you take one out 3 or 4 days later and you put it into an air fryer, it comes out tasting exactly like it did when it just came out of the oven from the pizza place.
Wow.
Even though anyway, nothing to say on day one card. You want me to go on to
I do. I actually have something to say. I was like screaming from over there going, the person that you're missing is John and this and that. But then anyways, the dog's crazy. Anyway, so the one thing that I've always wondered about with the nourishment thing, this is me personally as Marissa asking the guides. And by the way, it's Jeremiah is here.
Okay.
Jeremiah, I've always
from the Bible,
no,
Jeremiah, or is he just a guide?
There's a Jeremiah.
One of our guides.
Bullfrog. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Jeremiah to me is like my soul's. They call it in my class. They call it a mentor guide. So like your mentor guide is your guide that like is with you whether you're alive or dead or whatever. It doesn't matter. And it sticks with the soul. It doesn't stick with the consciousness. So it's like it's the mentor for this path that we're on. Whoever's on this soul path. And so he's mine. Like that's mine. And then yours is like Noah. So you have Noah, that's like your soul mentor guide, and then I've got mine, Jeremiah. So Jeremiah is here today for some reason, and then he goes, not for some reason. He says you can ask why. He says you must ask why beings are here because they're here for specific reasons. You never ask why. That's true. Okay.
Yeah, you say so and so's here, so and so's here, so and so's here. I guess you have to ask them why they're here today.
He's kind of like not a judgmental. He always comes in and says, well, you need to do this, and he's always telling me what to do. But the guides, you guys, just so you know, like if you ever have a guide or a spirit or something come in and tell you what to do, don't do it because they don't tell you what to do. They make suggestions and they kind of guide you in the right way, but they're never going to say like marry him or don't marry him or do this or do that or go get your hair done or don't get your hair done. They're never going to do that because we have free will, but they can kind of show us like in our minds, like subconsciously, like show us kind of like what's going to happen if you end up getting a perm in your hair or what's going to happen if you end up doing this. Like you can ask those questions and go into like your own psychic body and kind of feel around to see how you're going to feel at that point. That's what psychics are for. People that are psychics are here to kind of like prompt you to kind of go into that field on your own. And they're here to help tell you what they see. But, anyways, Jeremiah is here and he's saying that he says his suggestion is that we ask why each being is here each day, because each day, if a being is here, they're here to give a message. And if we're just like saying like, oh, well, let's talk to Jesus, then Jesus is having to be the gatekeeper for all of the guides when Jesus comes in with a message and then his message will get mixed with whoever's message is coming in if we're pulling a message through. So there's a messenger and then there's gatekeepers, and gatekeepers, we're using Jesus as the gatekeeper, he said, because we're calling it Ask Jesus and this and that. He said, and that's fine. He said, but he says, you'll get different messages if you just go directly to the guides and use your higher self as a gatekeeper. And I said, okay, I'll do that then. He says, and I'm your he's my higher self? Well, that would make sense. So he's a version of my higher self. He says a version of your higher self. Yes. He says, just as Noah is a version of your father's. Okay. So he's being the gatekeeper. That's why he's here. He's not here. You're not here to give a message. He says, other than that, no, I'm not here to say anything other than that. He says, but I'll be the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper, you guys, in mediumship just means you have a spirit there standing at the door, and anyone that wants to talk has to go through them in order to get to you. And they won't let anybody in that's not for the highest and best good. They won't let like earthbound spirits through, things like that. Oh, he's the gatekeeper's here because the spirit realm is here. I get it. Okay. It'll just click for me. Yeah. If we have the spirit realm here, if you're a medium, you always have to have a gatekeeper. You don't have to, but you should. That way, no crazy spirits just come running in and attach to you or your family or, whatever. It's dangerous. Just opening up to the spirit realm like that. So Jesus is here. John is here. Peter's here. Rosemary's here. She's like, hi. She's with somebody today though. Rosemary has somebody with her, like a little boy is sitting with her. And then, over on the other side, it's packed with people, but like, that's the bad side. and it's like this big force field is like pushed up against them right there, and it's like they're like up against the window, like their face is smushed up against the window, like they're trying to get in but they can't. That's pretty cool.
Well, I protected us with the glass snow globe,
Oh
so
yeah, it
people
literally
can
looks like
people can
glass.
see in, we can see out, but they can't get in.
Oh yeah, they can't get it. No, they cannot get in. They're all like smushed up against it. And then above the snow globe, or above the globe, is like I hear like a crow going caw caw. And I don't know. That could be like somebody who's like into this or something, or watching it. I don't know. They're into ravens or crows or something. I don't know. Anyway, so the question I always have about the nourishment thing is they always say like, you're one true fruit, or there's no one true fruit that's a nourishment. So with nourishment, are they talking about, you eat food, and from that food you get nourished, right? You don't
Right.
eat nourishment, right?
Right.
Is it nourish kind of like is it a verb? It's a verb is like an action, or it's like something that happens to us, right? We become nourished when we nourish ourselves.
Sure. Yeah.
So what is that? That's a verb, or I'm it's not like a noun. It's like something that happens to us. So God is something that happens to us, then, is what I'm asking. And they're saying, yes, exactly. God is something that happens to you. God is an action. God is something that processes through you. God is not an it in this situation. So God is something that flows through you, that makes you healthy, that makes you alive, that makes you live, and that makes you live another day. Now, if you look at Christ, Christ would be God incarnate. So God incarnate would be more of a being. But when people look at God as a being, this is the wrong way to look at God. You need to look at God as an action that happens to you. You, as a creator, create using the action that you are, which is God, but it cannot happen unless it is within you. So when you pray, or you meditate, or you do yoga, or you do anything that brings you into alignment with the ability to process and run God through you, that is should be your religion. That should be your process. That should be your process of receiving this nourishment that God is. Because without the nourishment, then you become dry and brittle and frail, and you break and you die. So this is basically what happens when you lack God, when you lack the nourishment from God. So yes, if you eat cherries and you eat those and you get the nourishment from God, great. If you eat oranges, if you eat apples, if you eat pears, great. If you don't eat any of the fruit and you just sit and you pretend to eat the fruit, and you ask for the fruit to become real in your life, then God comes through you. So it's your mind. What your mind believes will work, and it works. So I know this is a little bit more confusing than the way that we put it in the book, but we wanted you to understand this, that people get caught up in the religion. And yes, in the book we mentioned that, but we didn't really mention the fact that God is not a being, and we wanted to mention that. That's the importance of Jesus, or what you call Jesus. That's the importance of Jesus and the Holy Spirit, because those are the different aspects of God that these fruits bring.
What I get out of that is, once again, it's the parable of the orchard. What I get out of it is Jesus, God, is not going to judge you by the religion you have. In fact, we've been told many times in 100 years there will be no religion.
No, it's not even, but it's that. But at the same time, it's, if you're in a religion that you don't believe in, and you're not,
that could be worse.
then you're not getting God. Then you don't have God. So if you're at the Christian church and you're like, I don't get this, I don't understand, and you're not open. So they said, look at God like air. Okay, look at it like air just bursting through you. So look at one of those big like weed blower things, where you just blow the leaves around. Imagine that just blowing down on your head. And the only way that you're going to get that air on you is if you open up this little hatch above, a little window above your head. That's the only way the air is going to come through. The air can blow at it. You can look at it. You can see it. You can see all the air blowing towards you, but you're not going to feel any of the air on you until that door opens up. And the only way the door is going to open up is it's God. Basically, God's up there blowing down. The only way it's going to open is if you understand or believe, or you do the process correctly. And that's the thing about prayer, and that's the thing about meditation. That's the thing about all these things. They have like the secret decoder ring on how to open yourself up to God, even if you don't believe. So some religions will say this prayer 10 times. You say the prayer, opens up, God flows through you, you get to feel God, and then you get to believe or not believe, or like it the way it feels or not like the way it feels. Sometimes when God flows through you, you don't like the way it feels because you don't like the environment that you have in your field, and God is creation energy. So it's sometimes people don't like that, but most of the time people do. 99% of the time people are going to love the way that God feels once it is blowing down over them and into them. But meditation also, if you just sit long enough, obviously you're sitting long enough and you believe, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting there. If you didn't believe, you wouldn't be saying the prayer 10 times trying to open up to God. So it's kind of a beginner's way of getting God to flow through you. So meditation, yoga is a very quick way, because the stances are like a decoder way of calling this energy into you, this life force energy into you. So religion is very helpful in that way, and that's like the trees. And no, you're very correct, Joe. They will not judge based on what religion you got to God through. You will just judge yourself on the percentage of God that you allowed into your life during this entire lifetime, based on your life. And really there is a grade almost that we get for this when we cross over. That it's our light quotient, how much light we were able to let into our life through our lifetime. And many times people will let a lot in, and then they'll push it out and they'll keep it shut down. They'll keep that window up there shut, and they'll never let the air back in. So without that air, they don't get any of their light in them, and then their grade is very low when they cross over to the other side, which causes them to have to study afterwards and go and witness and view other lives, just like your mother is doing right now with many of the grandchildren of yours.
So, I'm picturing a lady who does not want to. Maybe she's raised Jewish or Catholic or whatever, but just is so far away from that. But that woman feels peace when she hears the chimes tingling on the porch, and feels that she can connect with God through those chimes, and maybe someone like that actually reaches God better than those in established religions. We don't know, but he says it is not the Bible nor the cross. Might as well say, nor the Quran, nor the rosary, nor the prayer rug, or the yoga stances that people think they need in order to connect with God. It is the nourishment, further, the light that one receives from God that is inside of them that is important. So, if you're sitting there and you like your crystal balls and you like sounds and you have chimes, and that puts you into a frame of mind that you're being able to receive good messages from God, then what's wrong with that? Someone else may
Sound is
say,
the way God,
that's heretical. You should be doing it the Catholic way, or no, you should be doing it the Jewish way, or no, you should be doing it the Muslim way. No, 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 no.
But if we're not connecting through the frequency of forgiveness, we could be connecting to another God. We could be connecting to something else. So that's the importance of, through a frequency of forgiveness, compassion, love, strength, all of these things, through the ascension of the soul. Many people can connect with gods, but they don't connect to God. And that's why it's important. In fact, we'll make this very easy for each of you, because we hear some of you asking questions. In fact, if you have questions on the side, you can ask questions, because I have this pulled up. I can see them. Hi, Pam. Hi, I think Lou's here. Brittany, some people. So this is what the guide said. The guide, your higher self says, Papa. He goes, just put it this way. And he looks down. He looks back up. Looks down. He goes, okay. He says, if you say that the nourishment from God is what we need, you must ask yourself if you have the ability to nourish yourself the way that God does. And the answer is going to be no. You cannot. You can nourish yourself. You can take care of your skin, your hair. You can take care of your body. You can go and get your nails done and go to salons. You can pamper your body, but you cannot pamper your soul. Pampering your soul is what you need. And pampering of the soul comes from the soul head or the soul group. And the soul group then connects in with God. So you must ask right now, say, have I had any nourishment of my soul in this life? And if you get a no, then you probably haven't connected in with God. You probably have a disconnected, distorted version of God within your mind, where you think that God is a father, or you think God is a virgin, or you think God is a man that died on a cross. And that's not the case. God, the action of God is that goes through you. Peter goes, I got a good way to say this. And your higher self went and like sat him down with your finger, because you're huge and he's tiny. And then he says, let me speak. And so Peter goes, okay, fine. Your higher self is the biggest higher self I've seen ever. And by the way, I got a healing from Michelle yesterday. Michelle, how do you say her last name? I'll put it in the comment section. She's very, very good, but I got a healing from her yesterday. And I think that's why I'm seeing a lot of stuff different, because everything's very clear, very big, very open. So your higher self is sitting right there and God is right behind him. And then Jesus is in front of him, like sitting right in front of him. So it's almost like your higher, that your biggest self. I've never seen him before. And so he says, this is the way you need to look at it. He says, just ask to feel nourished by God. Ask to feel nourished by God each morning for 3 days. And then at the end of the day, evaluate and see if your day was different. Don't do anything other than that. Just ask, say, I want my soul to be nourished by God today. And I want to be able to.
That's a simple prayer.
Yeah, I know. He says, and that's all you need to say in the morning. I want my soul to feel nourished by God, and I want to be able to notice it, or I want to be able to recognize it at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you go, did I feel nourished today at all? And maybe you almost got in a car accident and you slammed on your brakes, and instead of going, you effing idiot, blah 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 blah, you may go, oh wow, thank you God for allowing me to avoid that. And then, oh gosh, I'm so happy I didn't hit him. And it would have been, instead of just screaming and yelling and getting more upset and then taking it out on the family when you get home and all these things. So just the little things, you'll feel this nourishment or this flow of this air that comes from us on this side, that comes from this plane of consciousness where everything is right, everything is fine. There's no arguing, there's no lying, there's no mistrust, everything's just perfect. And there's a piece of you that's perfect. And many of us don't want to look at the fact that there's a piece of us that's perfect, because we don't want to notice the fact that we are not perfect. And everybody says, oh, I was born in sin, I'm not perfect. Yes, you were born in sin. Yes, you're not perfect. But really, you're not perfect at all in any way, shape, or form. And imperfection should be perfection down there. Being perfectly imperfect, just having things just a little bit off, it's the humor of being on the soul plane, where you get something and you take good care of it, and then you get one little scratch on it, and it's like, oh geez, why did I do that? It's just the little things, because here it's so perfect. It's almost tiring. He says it's almost tiring. That's why we like going down there. Hey,
yeah, that's what I thought. It's, we're talking about maybe a perfect universe, and here we go, and God says, you know what, here, let's play a game. Play a game. And Lucifer, you're in charge. And I'm gonna set up the game, and you influence the people the way you want to. I'm going to influence them the way I want to, just like the book of Job. And let's see who wins. Let's see who the people turn to. And that's why he's always after your soul. The dark side's always after your soul, because it's a game. It's a very serious game. Jesus has made this clear. It may be a game, but this is a very serious game between the light and the dark. But it's all been set up by God and Lucifer. I mean, God has absolutely, he knows everything. He knows why we're going through this and why we're born. I mean, we're born into sin, because this earth is sin. It's sin. Now, Jesus came in when he was here, and he said, okay, here's how the game is going to be played now. I want them to come to me, or they can go to you. And so, anyway, I think I lost my chain of thought again. I know.
I got it. You want to know why? It's because your high self is here. I've never seen this version of you before. It's like the biggest you, and he keeps going like this. He keeps taking his finger and putting it on your head, and then he takes it off, and then he puts it on your head. And whenever he puts it on your head, you start talking, and then when he takes it off, you go, I forgot what I was.
I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, his finger, and then he puts it on your head, and then you start talking. It's so interesting. But and I think that he's doing it just to show me what's happening, because it's and now when I look back, I see me, and I'm huge, and I have my finger on my head. So it's like whenever they want to channel through us, they just stick their finger down on our head, send the information through us, we start talking, and they take your finger off, and then it goes back to our brain.
I think the bottom line here is that God's not going to judge you by the religion that you use. In fact, they've told us, when we started in on the whole Muslim thing and the Quran, we started finding all these holes and everything. Jesus and Gabriel said, nah, they may all be flawed, but they're the holy books. So leave them alone. Yeah. And so we don't criticize the Bible. We don't criticize the Quran anymore, although I can criticize that thing all day long. But why? I'm not a Muslim. Muslims can they'll have to find their own way through their personal relationship with God.
And you
Now,
enjoy facts when people have the wrong answer. You like to convince them. It's that's just your personality. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that would say the same thing that are in that faith, but because it's like, you could die for not believing in it, they just totally it's like they look right past it. So
yesterday, completely off the subject, my dogs are starting to bark again, because yesterday the dogs are barking and Drew was somewhere and Joshua was somewhere and Tawny was somewhere, and I hate to get up out of my chair and have to go to the gate to see who's there. And I yell, "Quién es? Quién es? Quién es?" That means who's there.
Oh, I heard you saying that yesterday. Uh-huh.
Yeah, quién es, and then you'll hear a little faint voice like Tawny's friend or something like that. So anyway, they weren't answering, but the dogs were going nuts. So I got up, I went to the gate, I opened up the gate, and there were a young man, a man, and two ladies, and they were Seventh-day Adventists.
What's Seventh-day Adventist?
Well, either Seventh-day Adventists or what's the other one? Jesus, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, they were coming.
So they came up and he started talking to me in Spanish. I just looked at him. I said, "You no habla español. Yo no hablo. No entiende. No entiendo. I don't understand. I don't speak Spanish." And so the one guy, the young guy goes, they were stumped, because then I said, "Habla inglés? Do you speak English? Habla inglés?" And they, no, no. So he pulls out a little pamphlet and he's going to give it to me. He points to the word God. And I said, "Perfect. Yes, God. God bless you."
That was during the show?
No, it was after the show yesterday. And then after I did that, Drew came around and said, "Hey, babe, there was some, out there." And she goes, "Oh my God, they cornered Preemie the other day." Preemie's our worker. And they cornered Preemie for like an hour. And Drew had to yell at Preemie, "Preemie, you're getting paid to work."
Those people over there talking. Those people in Carlsbad.
You can't get away from them. You can't get away from them.
No, they run away from me. They would run away from me because I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm a medium, and so I have some questions about this." Because and like I'd write them all these questions. All the guys would have to write them down and take them to their pastor and ask the questions and bring them back to me. Both the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then they finally sicked the female Mormons on me because the guys said, "Oh, well, we're gonna have females come tend to you instead of us," because they would come by and they go, "Oh, hi." Like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here again," because I was working from home at the condo. And they would, I think they would see my car home and they would just kind of like walk around the house and go to the next one, because I came up with more annoying questions than they had.
Well, listen, not to break up the show here, but I know we started about 9-10 minutes late, but I know, Marisa, that you advertised that you're having a live broadcast at 2:00. So I don't know what it is, whether it's to your clients, your Patreons, or whatever, but I saw a notice that you're coming on live today at 2:00.
Oh, no, I'm the live at 2:00. Oh, no, I'm just posting everything at 2. I'm doing something at 3. I have a coaching thing at 3, but that's for me, myself. And then I do my class tonight.
Oh, okay.
I hope Ann didn't post something for 2:00.
Yeah, she did. It's I can't get in there in my phone to look at it, but I think it was an email, and it was from StreamYard, and in my emails, and it said, "Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 2:00 for a live broadcast on some subject. It wasn't what we're doing."
So I have something to share with everyone that's very interesting.
So are we going to get off so you can do your 2:00 show? That's what I'm saying. Because it's 2:00.
At 2:00 I have my coaching. I have my coaching at 2:00. So yeah, we'll get off in like 5 minutes and we'll pop off early then. But I want to share something with people that I've experiencing.
Yeah, don't keep other people waiting. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, no, nobody's waiting. In fact, they're not 2. It's at 3:00. It's at 3:00. I'm all mixed up. It's 1:00 our time, 3:00. 3:00 my time, 1:00 his time. But I've been getting coaching. Okay. So I've been getting coaching, and I feel like I'm like, have you ever watched that show Undercover CEO or Undercover whatever? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like the undercover like psychic, because I go onto TikTok and, I'm like this person that's been published at Hay House, and I've been teaching this forever. And I go and I get these readings from these people, and I'm Marisa Bolanowski on there. Not that anybody knows my name, but if they did know my name, then they wouldn't, because I'm Marisa Morris. and on my books and stuff. So I've gotten readings from maybe 3 or 4 different people that I didn't feel like their energy was totally gross, because I just wanted to see how they did the process of giving readings online. Because I've been thinking about doing that, because TikTok really needs some legit readers over there, because there's just a bunch of garbage over there. I mean, there's some good ones. I found some good ones, but mostly they're all projecting on the people. They're just giving them advice like as if they're giving it to themselves, and they don't know what they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing. They're getting messages, but they're not realizing that the messages are for them. And that's what happens when you're a psychic. You get messages for yourself, not the other person. You have to weed through all your own messages to get to theirs eventually. But usually by then you've given them messages for yourself for 30 minutes, and then you're like, okay, time's up. And they never even got a message for themselves. But like attracts like, so they're going to attract you because they're going to be similar to you. So usually they'll be like, oh yeah, that was good advice, but it wasn't really what you needed. So anyways, this guy I'm getting this coaching from, I told you about him the other day, where he goes, well, you should probably stop rubbing in my face how good you're doing. And I was like, wait a second, you're my coach. I'm supposed to tell you how good I'm doing. But yesterday, the same person, I responded to a message that they sent me, and then they said, I thought that you wanted to text and not write on Messenger. I said, yeah, we are texting, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, this is back and forth of, but you said this, you said you wanted to text. And I found myself like the way that if you were doing that to me, Pablo, I'd be like, no, I did not text you that. And blah, 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 I'd be like arguing. But I actually found myself finding the piece of us that actually argues. And I wanted to share that with people, because there's people that argue with like loved ones, right? They argue with people that they love. And it's like, why do I argue with these people that I love? It's the piece of us that wants them to know that we're good. The piece of us that wants them to, that cares whether somebody like knows that our intentions are good. That's what it is. It's our intention. So whether we're right or wrong or whatever, it's, even if we're arguing with someone and we're fighting and we're screaming at each other, it's always the piece of us inside of us. And that's our spirit. It's our spirit that's arguing. Can you believe that? You would think like my spirit isn't the one that argues, but they said, the guide said today, even when Grandma Betty was here, they said, yes, your spirit is the one that argues. Your spirit, all it wants to know is that, well, one, it's being nourished by God. One, two, that it's being nourished by the people that it loves. And you can receive that. This is Jesus. He says you can receive the nourishment of God through love too. So when you actually feel love in like in a relationship, you can actually experience God through a relationship. And that's why a lot of people, when they break up, they feel like they've lost everything, because they've lost that connection to loving themselves. So the biggest thing is like when you love another person, you love them because you love the way that they make you love yourself. And when you like when you're around them, you love how you feel. You love yourself in that relationship. You love yourself. So, and that's God, and God is love. God is nourishment. God is love. So when this guy yesterday, I was just like, I just basically went like, okay, well, I could absolutely care less how we communicate. If I'm texting on my phone, that means I'm texting no matter which way I'm texting. But if it's important to you, then I will just tell me how you want me to text with you. And that's it. Like I was able to just be like, just cut it off, because I could care less about this person. There's no emotional attachment. And it just hit me. It just went, oh my gosh. So next time, Jesus is saying next time, what's that noise? It's a weird noise. Jesus says next time, oh, okay. Next time you start to get into an argument with somebody, ask yourself this. Am I arguing with them because I actually care what they think? Or am I arguing with them because my spirit wants to know that they know that my intentions are good? And if that's the case, just say, okay, I don't want to argue about anything. Everything's fine. I just want you to know that my intentions were good with this. And as long as you know that, then that's fine. And then just drop it. And we can guarantee that your relationships will be better. Everything will be better, because two people will argue all night long about who loves each other more, who's trying harder to make the relationship work better. So just look at your intentions, look at what it is at your spirit level, and then just drop it, because everything else is just little tiny little things that we use to the dark side uses to get at you, so that you won't feel the love between each other. And it's the dark side. It's the dark side doing this, your shadow self and things of this sort. So we wanted to share this. And then Grandma Betty came in and she whispered to Jesus something, and then she kind of giggled and walked away. And she says to tell you and to tell Holly happy birthday. She says to tell you to tell Holly happy birthday. And then she says, I
already did. Happy belated birthday, Mom. Yeah, it was March 1st.
That's probably why she's around.
And
I think that's why she giggled. She said, tell Holly happy birthday. Right, it's the same birthday. Yeah, she says, tell him it's a birthday. She said, tell him to say happy birthday to Holly. And so
I did already.
No, I think she's probably saying, remember, it's my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
Like the
she's
happy
trying to
birthday.
run. Yeah, I thought of my mom on her birthday.
Yeah,
I
she was.
thought of I thought of Holly the day before her birthday because what I told her was, Holly, in 1971, you were born on the 60th day of 1971. Well, the 60th day of this year is February 29th. So I'll wish you a happy
Oh,
birthday for
that's what
two
you were
days.
talking about.
I gave her 2 days for her birthday.
Oh, that's cool. Leap. Oh, so leap years. So she had two. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. I was like, man, you're good with numbers, knowing what days are what. Yeah. So anyway, so Jesus just says, as far as nourishment goes, as far as religion goes, he says, if you get nourishment out of going and singing and holding your hands in the air and feeling amazing and singing because you think everybody thinks that you're amazing and you're connected to God, then that's how you're getting your nourishment, because you care what others think around you. If you're actually holding your hands up because you think that's what you need to do and you're getting the nourishment, great. That bugs me so bad when people do that.
So do I
Oh
do
God.
not put my hands up
Oh,
in the air. Oh my God. I know
that
he's in me.
turns
He's not.
my nourishment off. My
Oh,
nourishment just starts vomiting out
I
of me.
think they're all fake. Whenever I see people in church and they
That bugs
throw
me
their
too.
hands up
I
and they're
can't handle
doing
that. I
all of
don't
this
go.
stuff, I picture them leaving the church and going in and lighting up a joint and then driving down and stealing Coke from, cups of soda from Taco Bell. I mean,
I know. And they're like, no,
and they're,
I don't go to our
oh,
singing
thank
thing
you
because the
God,
lady up
thank
on
you
stage
God.
does that. She looks just like Janie, and she's like, oh, and I'm like, it's such a performance. Geez, do you have to do that?
It
But
is.
Jesus
It's
said
people
that's
just
what.
showing up.
But Jesus says if showing off your connection to God makes you love yourself, because it's loving yourself that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to feel God. So
Okay.
if you're judging, thinking that people think that you're amazing, because I guarantee 99% of people are irritated by her doing that up on stage, but the 1%
Yeah.
think it's cool, she thinks it's cool, whatever. But anyway, so he just said, as long as you love yourself, find one thing. He says, ask for the nourishment of God each day to be able to feel it. And then God says, the one that's standing behind you, Papa, like the huge you, there's a big being
Mm-hmm.
behind you, and he says his name is A. It's just A. It's just A. Ah, and it says, it's the Holy Spirit. It says ask to be shown how to love yourself each day too. So one, ask for the nourishment of God to be able to feel it, and then the Holy Spirit says, ask to be able to love yourself each day, to actually be able to learn to love yourself each day, and you'll start to. And they said, do it for 3 days, evaluate it, and then do it again for another 3 days, and do it in 3-day loops, and make little notes on how you feel different each time, because you won't remember. As you get more and more loving, more and more light in your life, you won't remember what it was like to have the darkness in your life that all of you
Yeah.
have at the time. So anyways, okay, well, it's time.
Okay, go ahead and wrap it up. Let's wrap it up for the day. You go forward with the other things that you were going to do. And are you going to Carlsbad tomorrow, or are you going to go on Friday?
No, I'm going. I was either going to go later today, but I have class tonight, so I'm just going to go like really early in the morning. I'm just going to.
When are Joe and Elaine leaving the condo?
They are leaving.
They're going to stay there. I bet you they'll stay there until I show up. I know. I don't want to bet. I always lose bets. I am the worst person for betting. I mean, I'm the worst stock market person on earth. I'm the one that everybody wins off of. So
you are actually very lucky. You won that money when you did the Prayer Jabez thing, but then you win whenever you go to Vegas. You would win. You'd put money on it for somebody, and then you give them the money because you won for them. I'm like, no, you won. You're the one that did it. Let me see if there's any comments here. Pam, does anybody have any questions? I just want to check to see if anyone has any questions. It doesn't look like there's any questions. Nope.
Well, for those that watch it later, you can put in the questions down in the comments section.
Yeah, if you guys have questions,
put
them down there, and then we'll see them, and then we'll ask them like when we're live in the future. We'll ask questions when we're live so that we can get your questions answered. I feel like there was a question there, and I just can't see where it is. That Pam wrote a question, I think, and she just was saying hi, but I'm pretty sure it was a question. Oh well, that's fine. Oh, here's the questions. No questions.
Okay. All right, Marisa, I'll just see you tomorrow, either while you're driving or whether you're still there at the house.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, for sure I'm going to leave tomorrow. I have to leave tomorrow because I need to be there the whole day before you, because I have some stuff to do out there before I get you and Tommy the next day. So
okay.
Excited.
All right. We'll figure it out tomorrow. So anyway, thanks, Marisa. Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Answers Heaven Speaks and Ask Jesus and Friends. That's what you're going to get from this. So thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Off, Papa, we're going to have to hit leave on here, and that's how we have to turn it off because this other one is already logged out. So we just have
I'll go ahead and log off right now. Bye, Marisa.
Okay, bye. Love you, Papa. See you
Okay,
in 2
bye.
days. See you tomorrow at the 2. Okay, bye.
Leave.
Uh-oh, I'm back. Okay. Oops. Well, I found that page. Okay, sorry guys. Let me log this off. Oh my gosh, my hair looks so weird. Oh, there's Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Oh, you want to come to class, Danielle? Come to can you text me if I put my text or no, do assistant at Discover Intuition. The guys kept saying there's a question in there that you need to answer. Text or I'm sorry, email Anne and she'll send you or she'll tell you how to pay to come, and if you can't afford to pay to come, then she can send you the link. And then you know, if you guys need like financial support to come to class, like just email Anne and say, hey, my name's so and so, I watch Marissa and her dad, and I want to come to class tonight, but I can't afford it, or I can only afford this much, or you know, whatever. And then Anne will write to me and be like, hey, this person needs financial support. And my Discover Intuition's nonprofit, so if there's any money left in the after I pay all the bills and stuff for like all like the software and just everything, I mean, I think I've been upside down. I've been feeding the account every month, but if it ever has extra money, I put it into the student fund, and then if anybody needs money for class, then we pay for a class that way, because Discover Intuition is like a nonprofit, and I like work for it, if that's kind of like the way I put it. And then so I teach classes Wednesday nights, and all that money goes. I make money when I people do like add-ons and get healings and stuff. Then that's how I make money. Let's see here. I want to say, you guys laugh as always. So nobody has any questions. No questions. Okay. All right. So no questions here. And then my website's all jacked up, but I need to work on it. I don't know if I told you guys, so I took an AI class. MarissaMorris.com, and then Discover Intuition. I'll cut this off the video at the end, so it's not. And that website's like all jacked up, but I'm gonna have it. Oh no, this is the website I wanted to give you guys. www.intuition media. I just put a bunch of music on there too. I channeled to. I can't play it on here, otherwise they'll block my video. But to Mama, I'm Coming Home. Creedence Clearwater Revival, a Madonna song. What else? A bunch of Pearl Jam songs. I did channeled meditations to all that music. And Landslide, Stevie Nicks, Yesterday by the Beatles. What else? What It Takes by Guns N' Roses. And just so many more. There's like 20 new songs that I channeled meditations to, and they all connect you with your higher self, and they all get you like clear you and do like something special, whatever it is they're doing. Each one does like something different that gets you in line with your light or your spark or your higher self or your spirit or like whatever. So check them out. It's over on intuitionmedia.bhx.tv. It's free membership for 30 days. And then just once you sign up, just like immediately cancel. That way you won't accidentally get charged the next month. But if you sign up for Patreon, which is the nonprofit site I have, and you pay for your classes up front each month, because so it's like, you know, $100 pays for all your classes instead of paying 30 a week and paying 120. Then you get that site for free too. So, and then it just holds you accountable. It's like, okay, I'll pay the $100 now. I'm saving $20. I don't have to pay 120 for the 4 classes. And sometimes there's 5 Wednesdays each week. So, you know, it just kind of holds you guys accountable to being there and coming, and not meditating and not clearing yourself and not getting your reset for the week. So it's just it's a good thing at least once a week to do like a group meditation and just kind of clear yourself and get your nourishment from God. Good job, Peter. Good job on looping that around. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okie dokie, guys. Well, I will see, what is that? Intuition Live TV. Oh, that's right. I'm on there. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you later. It looks like there's a few people here. See you later. Bye.